party started. High def with the professional.
Greasy says.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Greasy Says. My name is Greasy, aka M-Cue. This is a show about being a brown game developer and all the trials and tribulations and all the hardships that we all face and what it's like really making games and all that stuff. Anyway, I want to cut to the chase. I want to cut right to the chase because I'm so fucking gassed up right now. I have been watching E3 footage. Yes, I know, I'm fucking 2 weeks late. So the fuck what? I got shit to do. I'm working. I have work to do, okay? So I'm not, I catch up on E3. I used to be super psyched and sit there and watch E3 all day long. Seriously, I used to be in the office working, making games, and I would literally shut down for 2 days straight just to watch E3 footage and know all the games. I can't afford to do that anymore. I got a lot of shit to do. But I'm fucking amped up, so I'm like, let me jump on the fucking mic and record some of my initial impressions. All right, let me pause for a second because I'm excited. Let me pause. Truth is, I didn't even let me get real close. Don't tell anyone. I didn't even know E3 was going on. 2021, y'all. I didn't know that E3 was happening until a homie of mine came over and was like, yo, I saw that you saw this, the E3 footage. I was like, what? E3 is now? What the fuck? Yo, this is what having a kid does, y'all. Sucks up all your energy, all your time. You might miss some shit, some major shit like E3 happening this week. What the fuck? Anyway, so I'm like, all right, let me jump on some shit. So the homie sends me, Jay, what's up, Jay? Sends me footage of, hold on, let me look it up real quick. It was this game. It has such an inside vibe inside the game. Amazing classic game Inside that came out, I don't know, at this point, maybe 8 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe. Fantastic, incredible, one of the best games I've ever played in my whole fucking life. Let me find this text. Somerville. Yo. It's about this guy and his family, white family, and there's some sort of alien invasion or some shit's going down, and it has that art vibe that Inside has. It's sort of cell shaded, sort of voxel, sort of low detail but high style, visual style. Looks awesome, and it's named after a town I used to live in, Somerville. So that's cool. Things I'm excited about from E3, all right, that I'm just catching up on, guys. So guys and gals, give me a fucking chance. Stalker 2, gassed for that. Played Stalker 1 like crazy. Built a new computer pretty much to run that fucking thing. Had a lot of fun with it. Never actually finished it, but high atmosphere. And I can't wait for the second one. Let's hope it's better than Metro Exodus, because I don't give a fuck what you say. Metro Exodus, I don't think it was that good. I think they pushed the open world thing a little bit too far. It didn't really click. It was still pretty linear. And the story parts were long and drawn out, but that's a problem with all Metro games. So I'm not gonna hold it against them. Anyway, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Looks great. Amazing atmosphere. Anomalies. I believe Stalker was the first game to have anomalies. If I'm tripping, let me know. Greasy Says on Instagram, Greasy Says on TikTok, on Facebook. Hit me up. I did love the trailer edit on that though. The way they did it from the, first person perspective, you're sitting around the fire telling tales, and everybody has tales to tell about being in the wasteland, and they cut the gameplay sequences of being in the wasteland and fighting off dudes and aliens or whatever, mutants. Pretty cool. Love that. Psyched for that. Of course, number 2, Dying Light 2. Dying Light 1, I think I put $400 into that friggin' game. That game is so much fun. The parkour shit, the weapon building stuff. So Dying Light 2 is gonna be boss, right? They can't fuck this up. It's gonna be great. Fuck you. Then I jumped over and started checking out Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Direct is cool. I love how short it is. I really love that. You have a bunch of talking heads in the beginning, which I usually skip. Then they get to the meat of it, which is a bunch of Japanese dudes telling you what's coming out with really short, succinct trailers, and you're done. I love Nintendo Direct. It's the shit. So yeah, from that, I mean, there was some live play in the beginning with commentary of Mario Party. It didn't make me cringe too much. Usually live play with like a bunch of, you know, suits from Nintendo would make me cringe. But they upped it. Like they must have hired a more TV personality types, which I think from like the way that conventions go and the way to make the biggest impact in your presentation, you usually have to hire a lot of actors and you have to have people with acting chops. You can't just send Ben from fucking engineering up there to talk about a game because everybody will be sitting there bored off their fucking ass. WarioWare, get it together? Yo, let's fucking go. I'm ready to play that shit on Switch. New PC player character mechanics, where you're flying a sprite or like a little 3D version of yourself around the screen to solve the little puzzles or whatever. Cool, new mechanics in WarioWare, that's great. 2-player, simultaneous 2-player. Yes! Yeah! Man, I'm really hold up. Let me get some water. I'm pretty hyper right now. I'm going a little nuts right now. Also, what a great name. WarioWare, get it together. What a great name. Who came up with that? Give that person a raise immediately. The Mario Rabbids game. Yeah, whatever. It's XCOM. I don't give a fuck. It's XCOM. You're ripping off XCOM. But I'm calling it right now. Greasy says, episode 10.
Actually 9.
2021. I'm calling the shit right now. They are gonna make a Mario Rabbids movie. I fucking guarantee it. If it's not already in production. Anybody agree? Greasy says on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, right? Okay, moving on. Oh, then Eiji Aonuma jumps on the screen in this fly ass white Zelda button up. Where the fuck do I get one of those? I will wear one of those every day. It has a little emblem, the Zelda emblem right on the pocket. It got a little red tag, it probably says Nintendo on the side, on the flank. Tight fitted, button up Zelda, understated, beautiful. Where can I get that shirt? Please let me know where I can get that fucking shirt. I will buy it tomorrow if you get back to me today, okay? So yeah, his button-up game is incredible. Then there was the Game & Watch Zelda. Yo, they made a little portable console that looked like those old Game & Watch games with like 3 old school Zelda games on it. That's nice, but I really fucking hope that you guys recycled all the old Game & Watches that were sitting in a fucking warehouse somewhere. I just talked about waste on episode 9. Is it 9?
Nope.
Episode
You'll get there.
8.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
Uh-huh.
This is episode 9.
Right.
Man, I'm a mess. Okay,
Yeah.
so on episode 8, I talked about waste, and I really hope that they're not manufacturing new Game & Watch consoles, because that is incredibly wasteful when y'all probably have a bunch of them laying around somewhere, or at least the buttons and the D-pads and all that other stuff. And the screen, well, the screens, you probably need some new screens for that shit, but yeah, pretty cool. But I really hope they're not wasting it, making these new Game & Watch consoles. And then, of course, the fucking crown jewel, Breath of the Wild 2, right? I mean, it's gonna be great. It's a Zelda game. It's gonna be awesome. But what is it? I'm a jaded ass dude, right? I've been making games for, like I say, over 15 years. I'm jaded. I try to get excited about games, but it's hard when you've been in it for so long and you see all of the different aspects of it and you see behind the curtain, the magic kind of disappears a little bit. But what is it about Zelda games where the trailers still give me chills when I watch them? Like the opening sequence of that trailer, the music, the way they paced it. I got chills. I felt like I was 13 years old. What are they doing over there? Do they flash a subliminal message? You're gonna get chills. You're about to enjoy this shit on the screen before I look at the trailer. Anyway, Breath of the Wild 2, not much really shown. You know what I mean? They showed Link flying through the air and a bunch of scenery, but it's still gonna be dope. But they did play some music, and they have this awesome vocal synth. Audio nerd, nerding out with audio nerd. Audio nerd, nerding out with audio nerd. It sounded like an old school sort of sampler synth. What's up with that? I love that they're still using all those old retro sounds in these modern games when they could easily do full orchestra stuff, but they choose to use like this kind of very obvious vocal synth for their orchestral choir parts. Sick. All right, I'll come back. I'm gonna watch some more shit. This might be the longest intro of all time. I'm just saying, because I'm really excited about all the games coming out. Okay, it's literally like a week later. I haven't watched any more E3 coverage. I saw Donkey put a video out. I haven't watched that. I'm saving it, I guess. I don't know why I'm saving it, but I haven't had time to look at the videos and all the cool shit. So maybe I'll do a two-parter. I'll pick up next week with anything that I may have missed from E3. Let's draw it out. Why not? If you have something I should check out from E3, hit me up and let me know on Greasy Says. That's GreasySays on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, or on Twitter at M_CUE, M-Cue. Okay? But let's kick off the show.
Today's key is brought to you by Phil.
Just in case you don't know, you can always reach out to me on Instagram and TikTok, Facebook, wherever, and let me know what key you want me to do the show in.
Question time.
Hey, Greasy. Creative ownership in game.
What you make.
What you think, brah?
You know what? Let's start with talking about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, comedian, filmmaker, weedhead, advocate for black folks, genius, loves a good drink, and pioneer of creative ownership. The plea that Dave Chappelle made to his fans regarding Comedy Central exploiting his frankly network-saving show was unprecedented. What he did was extremely important for all creative black and brown folks. He separated from a shitty overlord to save his own sanity, even in the face of disappointing millions of fans. He believed that the creative ownership of his own show was being torn away. I sometimes wonder if he felt like a slave. He definitely felt like he was being pimped. He then, after years of being out of the public eye, re-emerged and started making his genius on better terms, on his own terms. He pleaded with his audience to boycott his own show because the pimps who had exploited his genius for years should not be allowed to prosper from his stolen fruit. He didn't believe that he had true creative ownership of the Chappelle Show. And luckily, he's rich and famous enough that enough of us gave a shit, and the television executives gave a shit too. Too bad we're not all as lucky as Mr. Chappelle, right? Too bad that when our ideas are stolen, rebranded, upended, reconfigured, whatever you want to call it, we have few to appeal to. And those we appeal to can't do much to help us out. Ever had an idea that later made folks who never had an idea a ton of money? You ever made a game before? Then yeah, you did. I think creative ownership is broken in games. I think that the people who come up with the ideas that make a game great generally aren't recognized for their contribution in any meaningful way. Now, I get that games are collaborative, with many different folks contributing to the larger work, but watch any Game Awards show, interview, or developer diary, and you wouldn't think so. Let's say Luigi's Mansion gets a Game Award for Best Low Memory Vacuum Sound Effect, okay? Who's going up on stage to receive the award? The person who made the sound? No. The people who built the synth to make the sound? No. The people who did the implementation in the engine? Hell no. The audio lead on the game? Who's a fucking manager, by the way? Maybe. The audio director, who is just another manager? Likely. And if vacuum sounds were all the rage in video game press at the time of this fictitious fucking award show, some fucking senior executive would be up there saying how hard everyone worked, blah, 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 blah. Some fucking person with a finance degree and literally zero input on that vacuum sound will go on stage or on screen to accept the praise and recognition for that work. And that doesn't seem right. In a developer diary, who gets the most screen time? Besides any female developer they can get their hands on so they seem progressive or whatever the fuck. Usually producers and directors. Why? Maybe because they're trained in the art of filling time with words. Maybe because they can lie with a straight face. And I mean, if you're in a management role, you get used to it for real. But rarely do you see or hear from the folks that do the real work. And if you're a quote unquote cool director or lead type, you try to call out the true achievers by name. But that rarely happens when your own ego gets in the way. And the game playing public, for the most part, isn't going to dig into who made Luigi's nose wiggle so believably. They're just going to accept that Reggie Ames or whatever must have made the game. And Reggie is great. Wow, how does he do it? How does he make all the games and make it home in time for dinner? It's unbelievable. I don't know about you, but this rubs me the wrong way, y'all. Sure, the folks on the team may know who's responsible for what on a game's production, but they'll forget once the new projects start up, or they'll realize in hindsight, once a dev leaves the team, that, fuck, no one here knows how to make a vacuum sound.
Really?
Remember that guy who made that awesome vacuum sound? Remember him?
No.
I think his name was Reginaldo?
Reginaldo?
Is he sick today? Is he here?
Check his email. Is he on Slack?
This can leave devs feeling thankless. It can make them feel like cogs in a machine, grinding away for no recognition, slowly losing fucks to give, and never receiving the credit that they deserve. And the assholes with the biggest mouths, egos, and propensity for manipulation grab all the accolades. Sounds like some slave shit to me. The coldest pimping. As games become more like movies and are being made more like movies, this broken sense of creative ownership has already infected games. In the cinematic intros to games, whose names are first? Producers, directors, art directors of the whole studio, even CEOs for fuck's sake. The poor 23-year-old who toiled for hours to make the fucking awesome camera shake on the opening sequence is still sitting there in her cubicle wondering why she feels like she's spinning wheels getting nowhere. It's bigger than ownership, it's mental health. So if you're a lead and you're in an interview with IGN or whatever, next time you're taking credit for a team's work, remember to mention the team. And if you can manage it, name drop the players on your team.
Shout out to Reginaldo for those awesome vacuum sounds.
Even if that laptop jockey doesn't include it in their write-up, I can tell you firsthand that if they do mention your name drop in an article, it'll do so much for that player's day, for your teammates' day. They'll feel seen, they'll feel ownership, and now it's out there, it's real. More real than the ones and zeros that we ship every few years. And if you're sitting at the top, I'm talking to you, fucko. We need to change what creative ownership means in games and improve how credit is shared in this industry. Let's Dave Chappelle the video game industry.
Reflection.
You know what? I'm going to reach out to y'all again. I want to hear from you people, from the people listening, if you work in games and you've had an experience like this, where you come up with something and then somehow an entire company takes credit for it. Or people who had nothing to do with your shit are getting accolades off of your shit. And you just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, this happens to everyone. It's happened to me a million bajillion times on micro levels and on macro levels. Being in a meeting, a brainstorming meeting, coming up with a dope idea and being like, oh, you know what? We should just change that. I don't know. We should change that UI to be red instead of orange because I think it'll grab people's attention or whatever. And people are like, yeah, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
And they carry on with their meeting or whatever, and everybody's talking, everybody's, getting all excited, and all the fucking plumbers are talking about hot water heaters and shit. Talking about their precious ones and zeros. And then through conversation, through breaking things down and poking holes and stuff, another motherfucker says, a fucking Chad over here says,
yo, maybe we should just change the color on that UI to red because it's way more noticeable.
Oh, Chad, thank you. Chad, can we get Chad a cappuccino? Chad, that was genius.
and I'm sitting over there like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? Nobody saw that?
What?
Nobody saw that.
What?
Nobody heard me say that fucking 5 minutes ago?
You have an attitude problem.
So all this talk about fucking creative ownership, right, has led me down a path to a segment I like to call Do You Remember That Game? Remember Assassin's Creed? The first Assassin's Creed that took place in like Jerusalem or something? Personally, no one fucking agrees with me on this, by the way. I think that's the best Assassin's Creed, period. It was a landmark title. It created so many different mechanics and mission sort of objectives or different mission types. Unfortunately, Assassin's Creed just became trailing missions and chasing fucking doves or pieces of paper around and occasionally murdering someone, but not really satisfyingly. The fighting system, Assassin's Creed, paved the way for games like Batman and all these kind of like... I mean, Assassin's Creed essentially help lay the foundation for all 3D fighters that are out there. Run the list, and they all take something from Assassin's Creed. Parrying mechanics, right? That like when Batman fucking or like the enemy of Batman, Penguin's fucking henchman gets a yellow thing over his head. That's from Assassin's Creed, y'all. Like, they cracked that shit first. I used to say back in the day that Assassin's Creed, that Ubisoft were the kings of third-person action games. Because for a while they were. I loved Assassin's Creed. But it reminded me of this guy. Okay, let me pull up the page real quick. This shit had me fucking losing it. Patrice Desilets. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Canadian game designer. Basically the inventor, creator of Assassin's Creed. Oh my God. He's like, this guy's a legend. He created Assassin's Creed. Also, this guy was the director of Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Do you fucking remember
that game?
Prince of Persia, Sands of Time? That shit was flames, straight flames. Again, the whole parkour thing was in full effect. The combat, similar to Assassin's Creed. This guy is legendary in terms of battle mechanics. All right. But he's also another pioneer in ownership because Patrice basically invented Assassin's Creed for Ubisoft. And then Ubisoft, that they are, I'm going to have to fucking edit that out. Great. I just created more work for myself. The
Uh-oh.
that Ubisoft are treated Patrice Desilets like shit. So he left the fucking studio, citing what it says here, looking for more creative independence. Go fucking look at it on Wikipedia. Patrice Desilets says it right there in his fucking biography. And departure from Ubisoft is the second thing down on his fucking entry. Ubisoft treated this guy like shit. He didn't feel like he had creative ownership, creative control, creative independence of his own fucking franchise that he built. Yeah, Ubisoft is going to make a ton of money. They technically, quote unquote, own the rights to Assassin's Creed or whatever. But that doesn't mean they invented it. And the fact that they can just claim that because they have like the patent or the trademark on the fucking game is bullshit. It's fucking broken. They should have to pay fucking Patrice every time that game makes a fucking dollar, right? He owns what made that game great, as well as his team. But here's the other fucked up thing. He went back to THQ to make a game called 1666 Amsterdam. Who the fuck knows what that is? But it's probably gonna be dope as hell because this guy makes fucking dope ass games. And then THQ goes bankrupt. Side note, somehow comes back, rises from the ashes as THQ Nordic and all these other fucking THQ spin-offs. How the fuck does that happen? Creative accounting, maybe? Yeah. Okay, whatever, motherfucker. He comes back to THQ Montreal, and they get sold back to Ubisoft in an auction. So, I mean, yo, what did this guy do? Why is fate fucking with this guy so hard? He goes back to Ubisoft because they buy the company he was working at. So he split again, but truth of the matter, and bravo, Patrice, for stepping up and calling these motherfuckers out on their bullshit. They let him go. They terminated him. He comes out and he says, contrary to any statements made, this is back in 2013, he says, contrary to any statements made earlier today, this morning I was terminated by Ubisoft. He was notified in person. He was handed a termination notice and then escorted unceremoniously out of the building without being able to say bye to his peoples, bye to his team, bye to his friends, and grab any of his personal belongings. Like, get the fuck up. We got armed guards in this motherfucker. Get the fuck out the building. That's how they treated this guy. They treated this guy who basically makes them billions of fucking dollars because he invented one of the biggest franchises of the last fucking 10 years. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Ooh, I'm fucking amped up. Remember Patrice? Remember that? Remember fucking Patrice, okay? But you know what? My boy came back. He came back, y'all. Motherfucker said, I'm gonna fight for my rights and the rights of my team and my fucking game. And in 2016, 3 years later, they reached a settlement in which Desilets won back the creative rights to 1666 Amsterdam. His fucking game. His fucking creation. Bravo. Bravo, Patrice. Patrice, if you ever want to link up, you need me to do anything, I'll help you out. Just hit me up. Greasy says, anywhere. Fucking, and I'll take your call. DM me, I'll send you my fucking personal number, dog. Like, let's link. This guy. Shit, this guy. Patrice. Woo. Oh, and don't forget to check out his newest game, which I am going to download probably right after I finish recording this, is Ancestors, The Humankind Odyssey, which is a game about being an ape. I mean, come on. Being an ape, running through the jungle trying to survive, evolving. This guy.
Also made Donald Duck on Quackers.
Let's jump into a segment of Dope or Dumb, where we talk about whether a trend is dope or kind of dumb.
Dope?
That's dope.
or dumb.
So I'm hanging out at my buddy's house. We're chilling out, having a beer. Beautiful night, fire. You know, dude shit, talking shit. And he brings up to me, through a conversation, brings up to me the Tushy. He says, "You ever heard about the Tushy?" I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" "You mean like the porno site?" And he starts laughing, and we're both laughing. We're dudes. Tushy, you know what I'm talking about. The Tushy is sort of like this bootleg bidet, right? It's like a thing you get, you attach to your toilet, you hook it up to the water, and it blasts your asshole with some water from your toilet, so you don't have to use toilet paper. So is this a dope or dumb thing, this Tushy? First of all, what's dope is the algorithm has Tushy like locked in. Whoever's paying for all of this advertising, good job, because your money's working for you. This shit is working on the ladies. Big time. It's working on the ladies. It might work on the dudes too, but it's mainly working on the ladies. Let's face facts. Dope. Also dope. Bidets are mad fucking expensive. Like a traditional bidet is it's basically another toilet. You gotta run a whole new drain line, a whole new supply line, all this shit. Lots of waste, lots of materials that you have to use to put a bidet in your toilet. Takes up a lot of room too, real estate. Bathrooms aren't that big. People trying to squeeze as much use out of their bathrooms as they can. So that's pretty dope that they managed to shrink this thing down. Man, I should have waited until I got a sponsorship from Tushy. Yo, Tushy, if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. Greasy says on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, I will take a sponsorship deal all day on Tushy. I'll hook one up and videotape the shit for y'all. Videotape? Really? Anyway, also dope. We're not using all this toilet paper, right? People have dirty assholes. Some people have very dirty assholes, and they use a lot of toilet paper to clean their dirty assholes. Tushy blasts water in your ass. You get back there with a finger, an errant finger, if you're feeling frisky, and you get a clean asshole without, tearing up a couple of trees while you're doing it. So that's dope. Also dope. Low key, also dope. Low key. If you have a VV poo poo, right? I'm just saying, if you have a VV poo poo, you turn around, bing bang boom, Pleasure Town, right? Come on, no one else thought of this? It's a stream of water shooting out in a perfect direction for a VV poo poo. So that's a kind of a dope, double feature of the Tushy. Tushy, hit me up, dog. Hit me up, Mr. Tushy, Mrs. Tushy. I'll take a sponsorship. I'll talk about Tushies on this shit. Anyway, the Tushy, I think without actually using one, I'm going to use one next time I go over it. Maybe I'll ask my boy if I could use it real quick. Is that weird? That's probably weird. Anyway, that's a dumb idea is what it is. But the Tushy, I think, might be kind of dope as much as I laughed at it in the beginning. Okay, so I have this crazy tie-in I just thought of. I just came up with this. So my wife sends me this article on sciencemag.org about, this is the headline, Piles of Ancient Poop Reveal Extinction Event in Human Gut Bacteria. And it's all about these scientists who are basically hunting down human shit and messing with it to learn what they can about the microbiome, about the guts of human beings throughout history, and how we've changed over time, and our gut biomes are no longer will never be the same, and it's constantly changing because of the shit we eat. And like, you want to talk about true creative ownership? You plop a turd, that's yours, right? If a scientist comes along 500 years from now and is like, I found Greasy's poop log, and I know everything about Greasy's microbiome, that's me. No one can fake that. No one can take credit for my poops. So that there's something to celebrate, right? Is that a weird tie-in? It probably didn't really work. Whatever. It's all good. Wow, I didn't know how much time had passed. I really got rolling this week. Just flowed very naturally. I didn't have to force this shit at all. But we gotta wrap up soon. So we have some, who's we? It's just me. I gotta do everything. What are you talking about? I got a submission. This listener says, another reminder to check out Arthur's excellent podcast, Greasy Says. It's by far the funniest and best produced podcast about game development that I've ever heard. Yes, I'm biased because I know Arthur personally, but that doesn't mean I'm not right. Holy shit. Yeah, he knows me personally. Of course, being nice to me and everything. But funniest? I never asked anybody to think I was funny. And that's like one of the main reasons I want to do this shit is to try and be funny. You know what I mean? I think I'm funny. Sometimes I think I'm not funny at all. But the fact that people are writing in and saying it's some funny shit, that really makes me feel good. Because that's one of the main reasons I do Greasy Says. Yes, to help people. Yes, to help people going through their shit in games and dealing with their frustrations. And it's also about telling the stories from a brown perspective. But humor helps you deal with all kinds of shit. Humor will lift you up when you are your lowest. And that is one of the biggest goals of Greasy Says, is to lift people up at the same time with my bullshit. So, thank you for your comment, McLean. Mad love and respect. Keep doing your thing. Thank you. All right, it's about time for some...
Medicate, meditate.
This week, we will focus on the all-important art of letting go. There are many things in life that we want to control. There are even more things in life that are out of our control. Learning when to let go will help each and every one of us live a happier life. Ever been in a meeting and someone interrupts you, and that person interrupts you every single week, no matter what? Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just let that shit go. Sure, they're probably very insecure. They probably need to talk every 5 minutes to feel important, to feel like they're contributing to society, to contributing to this meeting. Yes, they need to interrupt you because your idea sparked an idea in their mind that if they don't get out, they'll go home feeling like shit. There's so many reasons that people are assholes. But the best way to deal with these people is to just let it go. Maybe your manager gave you a stern talking to about something that needs improvement in the way you work. Maybe that cuts you deep inside. Maybe it sits like a stone in your belly, weighing you down the rest of the day as you think about what you could have said, what you might have said, what you could have done differently, what you might have done differently. Guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. What's in the past is in the past. Just let it go. Maybe you dated someone in your office and it didn't go so well, and now you're no longer a couple. But you have to see that person every day, and you have to act like everything's fine every day. Maybe you feel regret about dating in the office, which is usually a fucking bad idea. But sometimes it works out. But it didn't work out this time, did it? No, it didn't. And that's okay. Because you know what? Take a deep breath, roll one up, and let it go. And that, ladies and germs, is another episode of Greasy Says. In the tank, in the fucking archive, in the safe, in the receptacle. We're done. It's down. We got it down. Remember, you can reach out to me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook under Greasy Says. That's GreasySays. I've gotten really good at spelling that shit, by the way. I say it the same way every single time anyone asks me about Greasy Says. I spell it for them, and like they look at me like, yeah, we get it. What the fuck is wrong with you? So yeah, Greasy Says on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And please go check out my music. Again, streams have been climbing because people are going to check out my music under M-Cue, that's M-Cue, on Spotify, Bandcamp, and Soundcloud. I got a track that's pretty recent. Some of y'all may have never heard it, called Just What It Do, and that's on Spotify. So go search for that shit. Just What It Do by M-Cue. I also sell records on Bandcamp, so go buy a record if you want. I think I like have them up there mad cheap right now. So go cop a record if you want to support Greasy, okay? And you don't know how to support Greasy, you want to throw a little money in Greasy's pocket, go fucking buy an album on Bandcamp, all right? Thank you. Yo, thanks to everyone who's been listening. Thanks to everyone who subscribed. Thanks to people who are listening to my music, like I said, up in my streams, sending me comments, giving me, these great, tweets like McLean put out. It fills me up, makes me feel great. It makes me know I'm on the right path. So just like, comment, subscribe, drop reviews on Google Podcasts and Apple Music, and everywhere you can hear this podcast. Drop a review, even if it's one word, good, and fucking some stars. That'll do great for me. So I appreciate you all. Greasy people, thanks for coming out. Like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback. Tell me to go fuck myself. And until next time, it's me, Greasy, checking out with the room key.
Laters.